should be in the Hall of Fame for that. Hall of Fame is never about length. If you get in the Hall of Fame because you did something for a long time, that's no Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is to be special, and people know you're special, and over time, your achievements stay special, and that's your Hall of Fame. I mean, he did this in the early 90s. We're talking 30 years later, he's still the all-time leader in sacks and just finally got into the Hall of Fame.
You touched a nerve with me.
Okay, what nerve?
And you didn't know this going in.
I never know going in. That's our prep.
Yeah, you didn't know this going in.
No.
That you touched a nerve with me. And then I could almost get emotional and cry right now.
Okay.
Because they have done a huge injustice, the Badgers in the Hall of Fame, as far as I'm concerned, of guys that are in the Hall of Fame. Two guys come to my mind right now that should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. One is Richard Johnson, defensive back, drafted in the first round, All-American at Wisconsin. I believe he was drafted by the Houston Oilers.
All you have to say is first round. That's all you have to say.
Another injustice is done, Darrell Sims, who Tarek Saleh records he broke. So that means Darrell Sims was the first one.
And held that record for a while.
Until Tarek broke him.
Right.
Should have been in the Hall of Fame before Saleh. I got nothing against Donnell Thompson, Tarek Saleh being in the Hall of Fame. So let me just get that straight. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. But what I'm saying is there's two guys that should have been in the Hall of Fame before those two guys.
Yeah.
Don't get me going here.
Well, I can tell you why they're not in.
And another injustice, which was done, and maybe they righted the way or whatever they done. There's no way that Michael Finley should not have been, if you're going to retire a number, should have been the second one that you retired. He should have been the first Badger basketball player number that they retired. I got no problem with the number that they retired, which was
I don't even know who was
the kid from Sheboygan, Decker.
Was that the first?
That was the first. Oh. No. I'm sorry. No. The other kid, the kid from Illinois.
Anyway,
the center. Come on, what's his name? Home team that played basketball for the Badgers. The center. I think he got his number retired before Decker did.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
He
Homer?
took him to the Final Four.
Well, he didn't take him, but they had a good team.
It'll thank me.
I think Bruss was on that team. All that.
Frank
Kaminsky.
Frank Kaminsky.
He was the first one to have his number retired, I believe, and then Michael Finley was the second. Should not have been.
Really, you would have put Finley ahead of Kaminsky? No, Kaminsky was National Player of the Year. National Player of the Year. I don't think Finley was National Player of the Year.
Homie, they ain't even close.
What do you mean that close?
Not even close.
All right, okay.
Finley should have been the first number retired.
I'm not going to.
That's just my opinion.
Oh no, I'm not going to.
If you want to skip past all that, that's fine.
No, I don't.
I can get back to Richard Johnson.
No,
I can get back to Darrell Sims.
You didn't win enough games. When your people are on teams that didn't win enough games,
it doesn't matter.
It shouldn't, but it does.
But records that I'm breaking is your records.
Yeah.
To set the record.
No, but I can tell you why they didn't get in.
No.
Didn't win enough games.
I don't want to do this.
What do you mean?
Because it's more than just that.
You think? I don't look at me. I don't know.
It's more than
African American?
I don't even want to go African American.
I just assume their teams didn't win enough when your teams win.
I may go this. And I love Barry to death. I ain't got it.
Wasn't a Barry? They weren't Barry guys.
They weren't Barry guys.
Okay, all right.
All McLean guys got lost in the shuffle.
Yes.
Now I will tell you this.
But why did you get lost in the shuffle?
On Barry's behalf.
Because you didn't win as much as Barry did.
Well, no, because they got a coach in there. That's their coach. That's their athletic director. He's going to push his guys.
Yes.
If Dave McClain was alive, he would have pushed his guys.
Right. It's easier to push him when you've won.
Right. Homer.
Yes.
Here's the thing. And Barry's a great guy, and I love him.
Yes.
When he first got the head coaching job, which was not done under Don Martin, when Barry first got the head coaching job, you know what he did? They sent an invitation to every former Badger football player. And Barry says, we're having this event. I want all y'all to show up. That was the first time that all my teammates that we were ever invited back and came back after Dave McClain. Barry did it.
Yeah.
Because you guys are part of this. You guys, this is it. And the reason why Barry knew this is because Barry coached against us. He was defensive coordinator at Iowa under Hayden Fry. So he knew that team, that those teams that are on, he knew how good those teams were. So I'm not, I got, dude brought us back and no one else. Don Morton before that was awful. I don't even know how, I sometimes I just shake my head when people get jobs. I don't know how people get jobs like that.
He got the job because he had been at Tulsa. John Cooper was the guy. He got the job at Ohio State. And Don Morton was there with Cooper's players at Tulsa and did pretty well. And he didn't have,
I'm telling you right now,
Cooper's players here.
Richard Johnson, Darrell Sims should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Are either of them in?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think Altoon is. We had 3 first-round draft picks in that class.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm going to start pushing those two. I've been
Darrell
pushing
Sims,
Tarek Saleh.
Richard Johnson.
Right. But, yeah, I think I
believe, and don't quote me on this, if I had Pebbles here, I would have been okay. But I believe Richard Johnson may have been the highest defensive player
ever drafted
in the history of Wisconsin football to be drafted. You tell me that don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
I would say that's a very impressive part of your resume. And you know how good he was at Wisconsin too. It's pretty hard to be that highly drafted without being that good.
Right. You think about the history of the Badgers. I don't know how long they go back. 1906?
Whatever, forever. They got Old Testament stuff.
The first.
Yeah.
To be drafted that high.
I'm glad we brought this up because I want to
And black and white, we didn't got to talk about black and white.
That's fine. It doesn't factor into it.
It doesn't really.
But I'm willing to go. I want to go look because I pushed for Tarek Saleh. I had not been at Marquette. I pushed for 2 people. Bobby Wolf, who played with George and is not in the Hall of Fame and should be, and my own personal wish of Chris O'Toole, who I think might be the greatest one-eye player ever in the history of men's college basketball.
When you say George, you talking about George Thompson?
George Thompson,
I love that guy.
Bobby Wolf was on the team.
I was just thinking about George just now, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I missed that dude.
George was
one
the man.
Of a kind.
George was the man.
Missed that dude.
Right.
And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but as I was sitting there thinking about George, of course he's passed away. Like, when you pass away, do people ever think about you anymore? I mean, do you go away or? Because I was just sitting there. I think about all the times that I met him, talked to you with him. The dude was just platinum, as we will call it.
No, I would say you go to a game and you look up and you see his number retired. You may know it then. But, yes, at some point everybody goes into what I call the Don Hutson Hall of Fame. I don't know how good Don Hutson was or is. People can tell me. I didn't get a chance to see him, and they don't have videos the same way you have videos now.
Right.
Like if you never saw Michael Jordan play because you're not old enough, you can go watch him play. And on video, he looks pretty good.
Yes.
And so there's the problem. But with George, no, you're right. You move on. But when you carry, there'll be certain players that last.
Right.
Dwayne Wade's going to last a long time at Marquette.
Yeah.
George Thompson will as well.
Yeah.
As the greatest moment I ever have had as the voice of Marquette basketball. And
when you think about
it will be greater even if they won a national title.
Give me 5 names. I'm going to ask you a couple of things. Give me 5 names when you say Marquette basketball. Don't necessarily have to be in order. Give me 5 names.
Yeah, all players? Because Al McGuire is the first name.
Give me 5 names.
All right, Al McGuire.
Okay.
Because Al McGuire made Marquette.
Okay.
Marquette didn't make
Okay.
Al McGuire, Dwayne Wade,
Okay.
George Thompson,
Okay.
Dean Meminger,
Okay.
and Wesley Matthews.
Yeah, I got one little addendum.
Yeah.
Bo Ellis in there somewhere.
Yeah, I apologize. Bo has to be ahead of Wesley. You know why Bo?
Right.
You know why Bo's in there? Now,
Right.
and I want to.
It's just me.
I want no, but
So I'm gonna give you another
people
shot.
do not realize. Yeah, Bo has to be in.
Okay, I'm gonna give you another
All right,
shot.
do I get 5 again?
Give me
All right.
5.
Al McGuire,
Okay.
George Thompson, Dwayne Wade, Dean Meminger, and Bo Ellis.
Okay.
And here's why: Bo Ellis was on both of the teams that went to the championship game and won the championship. And this is what's amazing. Against NC State,
Right.
he is a freshman
Right.
at Marquette.
Right.
In the national championship game, he was never taken out.
Yeah.
Okay, as a freshman, I believe,
right on.
I believe there's not another freshman in the history of the national championship game who's never taken out. He fouled out with like 30 seconds to go,
Yeah.
or he would have played the whole game.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Yeah.
This was with Maurice Lucas. This is playing an incredible NC State team historically,
Right.
and Al McGuire trusted so much in him that he never took him out of the game. I didn't realize how good Bo Ellis was as a high school player. He was one of the top players in the country. They sent Maurice Lucas to Chicago to convince
Go
Bo
get this
Ellis.
guy.
Yes. And so amongst all the accomplishments he's been a part of, there's, I don't think, an appreciation of how great he was from the day he stepped on campus.
Because that's Marquette basketball.
Yes.
5 players. Wisconsin football.
I can't do it well enough. I just don't have a good enough memory because I got one. Ron Dane.
Okay.
Other than that, I'll defer to you.
Elroy Hirsch.
Yeah, he's Don Hudson. But I mean, yeah, clearly.
Right. Alan Amici.
Yeah, Don Hudson too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 3.
And then all these running backs, I want you to compare because
you got to get. So now you got to get 2. Those 3 to me.
But now it's all the running backs. You
right.
got
those 3 to me are they're golden.
Yeah.
They're in there, right?
Now, all right. I want you to pick 2 of them because you're going to pick 2 of the
Now,
running backs.
Who do we say?
Ron Dane.
Yep.
Alan Amici.
Yep.
Elroy Hirsch.
Elroy Hirsch.
Now you got to pick 2 of the other
Now
running
you got
backs.
to get 2.
And you pick them. You're the running back guy. Monty Ball, Melvin Gordon. They're the incredible.
So
Was it Gordon who averaged 7 yards a carry or something? It's just
see, quiet as kept. I go with Joe Thomas
okay. Yeah.
before I go with
All right.
as my 4th.
All right.
And then after that is one of the running backs.
Okay.
Another one because you already got Ron Dane.
Right. I'll go with that. Yeah.
But folks forget, Paul Gruber played like 30 years.
Paul Gruber was, I think, Joe Thomas was the 3rd player. Gruber might have been the 4th. Yes. Yes. When you speak of Joe Thomas, you better have a house in that neighborhood for Paul Gruber.
Am I wrong here?
No, you're right, but he's Don Hudson too. It's just so long ago, but yes. I remember Paul Gruber because he was playing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Steve Young was their quarterback, and they played the snow game at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
The likes of which will never be equal.
Yeah, I played in that game.
One end of the stadium was empty because it was so full of snow. You played in that game?
They take snowmobiles.
You played in that game?
Yep.
Alfonso Carricker had like 3 or 4 sacks. The only good game he had ever
in his life. Florida State.
Yes, that's correct.
That's Leroy.
And Steve Young
didn't want to be there.
I'll bet he didn't.
Too cold. Face got it washed in snow.
Yes.
Couldn't do it.
Yes. I don't know how good Tampa Bay was, but that was one. I don't even know.
They weren't good then.
Who was the Packer quarterback then? Was it
Dickey?
Lynn Dickey?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember driving there.
Awful.
The wind and
we
stuff.
took snowmobiles to that game.
To the game. Yeah, one end, there were no fans. It was all snow.
No.
From about the
Were
end
you there
zone
or
on.
no?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I drove to the game.
No, you made
Hell
it
yes.
there.
I remember
Yeah,
being in the locker room after the game. Tampa Bay playing those weird white and
they had
orange
white.
uniforms. Yes. I probably went in there to talk to Gruber.
Yeah.
Because he might have been a rookie then.
All right, circle back.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll get to the second quarter. And you said, you don't want to get off tangent.
Yeah.
That's the essence of this show is off tangent. We're never on tangent. Second quarter, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Here's to the volunteers. Junior Achievement Wisconsin is celebrating Volunteer Appreciation Month by recognizing our heroes, the volunteers who make our work possible. These remarkable individuals bring real-world experience into classrooms, mentoring students from kindergarten through high school on financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. Make an impact on someone's life. Visit wisconsin.ja.org to learn about volunteering yourself. Junior Achievement, inspiring, preparing, succeeding.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and there is one thing I think everyone can agree on. Potholes stink. And this year's weather will make it one of the worst years yet. Well, Johnson & Sons Paving is ready to take on the challenge with a team that has over 2 decades of experience. When the potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole area. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. Get that appointment booked before May 31st, and you might even see Old T on the job site for a visit. Find full contest details at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Well, some good news. The earlier accidents on 43 and 4394 heading through the Marquette interchange have been cleared out of the way. We do still have one left over. It's on the ramp from Lapham to northbound 4394. As a matter of fact, that ramp is closed because of that crash, so be careful with that. Beyond that, from Pond Black Avenue up past Keefe, it's going to be slow on 43, southbound side. Heavy from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive down towards Keefe. And then on southbound 41, slowing from Appleton Avenue pretty much all the way down past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Dave & Buster's College Night Thursdays. College students get a free Dave & Buster's Power Card when you show your college ID. Dave & Buster's College Night Thursdays, 9 p.m. to close. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 57. Tomorrow, rain likely around a half inch, heavier to the south, a high of 65. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
Grab tickets to any Brewers game now. Next up, it's a can't-miss homestand against the Cubs and the White Sox. The week of May 27th through June 2nd. Open up a new chapter of the I-94 rivalry May 27th through the 30th as the Brewers take on the Cubs. Then join Happy Days theme night for a Bronze Fonz bobblehead at the game on Friday, May 31st. Get in on a big week of Brewers action now at brewers.com/tickets.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate, when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at discount liquor.
Baseball and tailgating, 2 of Wisconsin's traditions, are back. Have you made a game plan? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. For over 60 years, we've been part of the starting lineup that makes your tailgate an experience. With over 2,000 varieties of beer, 4,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines, we're your pre-game headquarters. It's not a game without a tailgate, and it's not a tailgate without a stop at Discount Liquor, where we literally have everything you need to get back to your baseball traditions. So before you head to the ballpark, head to Discount Liquor. 2 area locations, in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
Discount liquor.
Eagle Sports Range has an unbeatable offer on concealed carry license classes. For just $49, enroll in their 3-hour class led by expert instructors prioritizing safety. Learn laws, techniques, and mindset for responsible carrying. Stick around for an optional hour of range time with instructors included in the package. Practice under professional guidance and gain confidence. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day at 2525 East Layton Avenue in Cudahy. Secure your spot at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where safety meets skill.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, the Packers start the season in less than 100 days. I think it's 97. This is the Gary Ellis Homer Hour. We do it on Fridays.
Can I just, you got to pronounce my name, last name all the way through? Because if you don't, people think I'm somebody else.
Didn't I say Gary Ellerson?
No, you stop at the Ellers.
Ellers.
Yeah, that's you stop.
Okay. Gary Ellerson.
Because if you just go Gary Ellis, then they think it's
Gary Ellis,
Ellis.
the running back who was there about
People
the
got
time.
us mixed up a lot.
Yeah, well, he was weird. His first name was spelled
Like Jerry.
Yes.
Well, you know who else is like that, right?
I do not.
Who's the coach at Notre Dame?
Jerry Faust. He did the same thing.
No. And then I think he coached at Indiana. Then he was on the Big Ten Network.
Oh, Gary
DiNardo.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
love
right.
that guy.
He was a very good player.
I love that guy.
How do you? He's like old for you, even for you.
Come on, man. Come on, home team.
He's older than I am, I think. I think he's in
maybe.
his 70s.
You
Yeah, he
think
was
so?
a star at Notre Dame when they
Yeah.
won a national title.
Yes.
I don't know how far back it goes, but yes. All right,
That's
where
my guy.
we were going to get into the Hall of Fame.
You circling back. I want to circle back to Tarek Saleh, right? I want to circle back.
No, that's
to
fine. We did.
Those guys deserve.
No, I'm going to
Donnell
look
Thompson.
into. I'm going to look
But
into
I'm
the two
telling
you expected.
Richard Johnson,
Yes.
Daryl Sims should have been in there before
Right.
these two guys.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, should have been in a long time.
I know. Well,
every
I'm
time
gonna-
I see these guys go in, I shake my head.
I'm gonna look into it.
Who do I need to talk to get these guys in there?
I wouldn't.
You
know.
got somebody?
No, I don't.
Chris, should I call McIntosh?
Yes.
Who does
I
it?
think what you would consider doing,
Or do I talk to Ben Bruss? Does he got any power or no? Okay,
and
fine.
anybody's got more power than me.
Yeah.
You're so.
Well, no, as far as I don't know those people there. I would say, similar to what they have done in other sports, like they need a veterans Hall of Fame, in that like somebody after a certain number of years who fits what you're saying, and they just made a mistake by not putting them in, or needs to be mentioned. And I would say they should add one or two athletes,
Right.
and that's where I think they would fit in. To where you just need to look, and they do it in baseball. I think they do it in football too.
Right.
And everybody who gets in is a great player.
Right. No, right.
Nobody remembers them because they're all Don Hudson era.
Right.
But it's still, it does it justice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've said, I was going to ask you about coaches at the start of the show.
Go ahead, ask my coach.
Well, no, but I'm thinking, I think everybody knows when they've been around or played with somebody who's Hall of Fame. Like I know you said it with James Lofton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're amongst all talented, all special.
Yes.
And then this guy's
This
guy's a different
he's not
level.
like us.
Yes.
No.
Right.
He's not like us.
And there are some people that you say, yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But he's like a first ballot Hall of
Yes.
Famer. Where I don't know if as a teammate you feel this way, but as a fan, I say, I feel lucky to have been around to watch him play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel lucky to have been around to watch Dwayne Wade play.
Yeah.
And there are other great players at Marquette. But that's the way people felt about George Thompson.
Yeah.
He was the first one.
Yeah, Mr. Dude.
And you feel lucky to have been around to watch James Lofton.
Yes. Yeah.
And there are other great players you played with.
Yeah.
But there's something else.
He's not like everybody else.
I mean, I feel special.
I mean, you see like you see a lot of talent and talented people.
Right.
But then you just see greatness.
I know.
That's the weirdest thing about it, Homer.
Do you know what I say when I say that?
It's crazy.
I can't believe you're that good.
Right.
I cannot believe you're that
Trust
good.
me.
My brother,
I'm an ex-player, and I'm looking at this.
My brother in the national 18 and unders in tennis in the first round played John McEnroe. And, there aren't many people there to watch Jeff True play John McEnroe.
Right.
And it wasn't close, but it was. And then all of a sudden, it's like he was playing his little sister.
Yeah.
He did two things. I go, you can't be that good.
Right.
And clearly he was.
Right.
But I feel lucky to have been there that day. I feel lucky to have been there in Alaska when Dwayne Wade played in the Great Alaska Shootout. And everybody's just looking at him going, it's just like being with the Beatles in Liverpool.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, that's real.
You'll remember this.
That's real.
You'll remember this forever. I always wondered if Al Toon was close to that.
See, because I didn't see, because I wasn't around him when he with the Jets.
Right.
We all came in together as freshmen.
Yeah.
Real talk. Al couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Al Toon.
As a freshman.
Al Toon.
Mm-hmm. Didn't see it right away.
What? He was a track star as well.
Yes,
as
a triple jumper.
Okay.
Football skills were lacking. And then all of a sudden that one year, you're like, damn, where he came from.
Well, then he started doing to football what he had done to track.
Correct. It just didn't come. You didn't see it.
There's nobody else, I would bet, that has been like that.
Yeah, you didn't see it right away.
That you said I didn't see it right away and ended up being that good.
You're right.
Generally, when you don't see it that right away, you know what? That's because it ain't there.
Right. Normally, right. He developed late, and then got even better when he got into the NFL. He took off again, and then of course all the injuries, the concussions in that derailed his career. Obviously, but I mean. If that hadn't happened, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's in that.
The Ring of Honor with the New York Jets. I think who put him in? What's the coach? The head coach with the Jets?
Buddy Ryan?
No, not Buddy.
Rex Ryan?
Rex. When he was head coaching that with the Jets, they put him in, brought him back.
All right. It's funny you not
good.
mention coaches because this is what I was going to start with.
What?
And that is, I don't know. In football, there are so many coaches. You have position coaches, then you have coordinators, you have head coach. How much difference do coaches really make?
God, Holmgren.
Were the Green Bay Packers great with Mike Holmgren just because they had Brett Favre? Or who makes the players as good as they can be? What's the dynamics? Have so many coaches who...
When we're in a meeting and when the players are telling the position coach what to do and the right way to run the plays, you got a problem.
It's over. Right? I mean,
you got a problem.
Right. And then on the other hand...
So they make a huge difference, especially for younger guys. Established guys that have been in the league, 5, 6, 7 years, they're good. But if you bring in a young rookie, first-year player, second year, he'll know.
All right, so of the assistant coaches in Green Bay when you were there, doesn't have to have been your coach.
I'm going to say it's the worst thing ever happened to my career, I would say. My first year there was George Sefcik.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being the offensive coordinator like my second year. Was the worst thing could ever happen to me. Then they brought in this guy named John Hilton. John Hilton Forrest had just hired. He was selling insurance the year before.
So
they brought him in. He had no idea.
All right, if Sefcik had stayed as your position coach,
I would have been it wouldn't even this guy. I think
8 years in the league.
I would have been who I would have been, but I would have been
8 years in the league.
Yes. He would have made that much of a difference.
And this is why.
And it's not much. So it was also mental stuff too. Though,
that's my next.
Not physical.
We have no way of knowing how a coach can be that important.
All that.
What? All right. So you're there, and what did he do?
When he left.
So what does he tell you?
We just connected. It was just, and when he left.
Well, no. Does he say you need to go left? You need to go fast? I don't know. What is it?
It's tough to explain, but it was the nurturing, the way he explained it to me that I needed. The guidance that I needed, and John Hilton had none of that for me. So wait a minute,
forget about Hilton. So what do young players need to know? Are the plays different? It's more complicated? It's what? It's football. You're a running back. Give me the ball, and I'll get you some yardage.
No, it's still the way they can nurture and explain.
Like, you have to be more specific.
Well, I'm trying to be more specific here. John Hilton knew nothing.
I don't care about him. I care about what Sefcik did.
But I'm giving you the opposite of that.
I know, but I don't know.
You got one guy who knows nothing and one guy who can teach you.
Yes, but what is he? Be specific so we know. Like, he taught me on a play to go left or right. He always knew where I should be. There have to be specifics that made you better.
No, it was more like trial and error, and then more like a feel, and then you come back and he says, well, I'm great you did it that way, but you probably should think about this. Or, I know he audible to this and you didn't get it, but this is what you really should be looking at to get it before he even audibles it.
So he's telling you things to do.
One step ahead almost.
Right. Whereas not every coach does that.
Why? And I know you say forget about John Hilton.
Well, he didn't tell you that stuff.
He didn't know to tell me.
Even if he knew, it doesn't matter. He didn't tell you. Right?
So, yeah, it makes all the difference in the world.
So did you ever talk to Sefcik and say...
He's recently passed away.
But, I mean, like when he became coordinator, like...
I told him I missed him.
And what did he say?
Well, because Because he moved up.
I understand.
Because I believe Bob Snelker left, and then he got to be the offensive coordinator. So he took the offensive coordinator job and moved out of the running back room.
We understand why he would take it.
Yes.
But.
I mean, he's like, well, I got more money.
Yes, no one's objecting
and for
to what
my
he
career,
did.
this is what I need for my career,
He was that good.
Awful for me.
No, but I mean, it's because he was that good.
Yes. He's the same guy. He came and worked me out at Wisconsin. He was a running back coach but this was before I even.
Right.
He came and worked me out at a private workout I had at Wisconsin, just me and him. And he throwing me passes, doing all this stuff, blah, 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 telling me what to do. And right away, I felt at ease with him right away. And he goes, oh, my God. He goes, you're catching these balls. This is pretty easy for you. And then he goes, just try this one thing here. And boom, works. He had a lot of guys, he had an innate ability to teach and coach. It was natural. A lot of guys don't have that.
So how does a player say anything, or how does a head coach know which assistants to pick? What's the dynamics of it?
And a lot of this stuff, Homer, a lot of these guys pick a lot of guys that they know, that they trust. Coaching is about loyalty, more so sometimes than about can I coach a guy up? Because you want to build loyalty in the coaching staff where nobody would turn on you.
Really? I mean, I get that to a degree, but if I win, they're not going to turn on me.
I'm just saying. It's about loyalty.
Is that?
I remember.
Does that mean a head coach's greatest ability is not a head coach, but it's picking his assistants? The most important thing for an NFL head coach is picking his assistants and coordinators. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Marcus Dupree. I remember this.
Arguably the greatest high school running back ever.
Ever. I remember this. I was watching this maybe 30 and 30 on Marcus
somewhere
Dupree.
in Mississippi. I remember where it was.
Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And they were going through these drills with Marcus Dupree, and they had this assistant coach, and I forget what drill it was, but I'm just going to give you a drill. And the guy goes to Barry Switzer and says, he can't run a shuttle drill. He's dogging it. His time in his shuttle drill is absolutely horrible, Barry. You know what Barry Switzer said to the head coach?
Get rid of the shuttle. Get rid of the drill.
We ain't going to worry about what his shuttle time is once I hand him the football.
Yes, that's Barry Switzer.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm saying.
Yeah, you worried about the doggone shuttle drill. I know it's a test we all got to have for all the players.
Right.
But you know what? When I turn around and hand Marcus Dupree the football, it ain't about the shuttle drill.
Right, but see, if I'm that Barry, I'm thinking, I don't know if I want that coach around another year. I might find him another job.
But that's some of the nuances that you asked me to give you.
Yeah, well, that's good. All right, we'll get to the third quarter in a second. Tune in to Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by former Buck star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became the rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. And you know I'm going to tell you how far away something is. American Place Casino. American Place Casino, a half hour south of Franklin. There are more things about American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Exciting table games, have all the slot machines, have a sports book. They have North Shore Steaks and Seafood is now open. But, again, American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. They also have the bars and restaurants, everything. You can go to AmericanPlaceCasino.com for the latest promotions. But you need to know one thing. You think of Homer and American Place Casino. Yeah, Homer, I know. Just a half hour south of Franklin. You got it. Located in Lake County, Illinois. To the third quarter, next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94, we've got a pretty good ride. Just a little bit tight as you're making your way through from about Springdale Road all the way to Highway 164. Eastbound side's going to be a bit slow from about 164 all the way through Gerke's Corners to about Brookfield Road, so give yourself that extra time. Then it's going to be back on the brakes from before 84th Street all the way through the stadium to the Marquette. Southbound 43, on and off the brakes from Silver Spring down past Keith, then back on the brakes from just south of North Avenue all the way down through the Marquette. Traffic is brought to you by the Delafield Brewhouse. Spring brings Bach, Maibach. The Delafield Brewhouse has tapped their vintage gold medal Maibach. Enjoy it at the Delafield Brewhouse. Drink ale, live lager. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Increasing clouds, a low of 57. Tomorrow, rain likely with about a half an inch. It'll be heavier to the south, a high of 65. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Spring into massive April savings with the Midwest's #1 automotive leader at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealership. Get incredible spring cleaning sale pricing on America's best-selling brands from both Buick and GMC at nearby Cunis locations in Greenfield and Oak Creek. Your April savings will blossom with incredible spring cleaning savings and discounts on our entire inventory of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. At Cunis, we make it easy to find the vehicle of your needs, always at a price and payment that you can afford. Spring is the perfect time to refresh your ride. We're paying top Kelly Blue Book values on your trade, no matter what the mileage or condition. The weather's warming and the deals are getting hot at your Cunis Auto Group dealerships, the Midwest's #1 automotive leaders. Spring is the season for savings, exclusively at your local Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealerships, or shop online at shopcunis.com.
In Wisconsin, bicycles are legal and intended users of the road. We remind drivers to share the road and make sure to slow down and give at least 3 feet when passing a person biking. Let's make sure everyone, no matter their mode of travel, gets home safely. Learn more at wisconsinbikefed.org.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Baseball, grilling, festivals, tan lines, and Saz's. Summer in Wisconsin is the finest, and Saz's Statehouse is the place to be. They've been a Milwaukee staple for almost 50 years, so they know a thing or two about summer fun. Enjoy handcrafted cocktails, festival-famous combo platters on Saz's outdoor patio, or cool off with your friends at their famous round bar. Saz's complimentary shuttles are ready to take you to games and concerts at AmFam Field. Get details at Saz's.com, located at 55th and State. See you at Saz's.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Again, the Packers start the regular season. I think it's 97 days. This is the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. How did I do on Ellerson that time?
Yeah, you brought it up. You brought it home.
Yeah, I kind of moved through things so quickly.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for the Packer season to start.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I saw some interviews with Jair Alexander.
Yeah, I liked them.
And they sound really good. So we'll see what this new defense looks like. Looks like these guys they're happy. And when you get guys happy to play in a system, they'll play better. And that's what it feels like. Now, I don't know. I mean, you got to get them all together. And
well, there's a time frame.
But
they're talking
they
about
feel
how
good
much
about it.
differently the defensive line is going to play their approach.
Right.
One, do you have the players that excel with that approach, or do you have the players and it's still going to take them time to change, or you weren't drafting players and thinking of them in that way? There's no way to know.
Well, for sure, those kids they got from Georgia, right? Wyatt, Quay Walker. Those kids were in a system where go get the football. And I think Quay Walker in college more or less played to the wide side of the field because he had good athletic ability. I just think where he was playing in the system last year, they had him kind of pigeonholed in a box, and he was a little slow in trying to diagnose and figure out what he needed to do. And that now you're half a step behind in the NFL is huge.
I would guess they're going to ask him to be aggressive, but more than that, they're going to tell him, you're going to screw up.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're going to misplace. Things
But-
are going to happen.
But rely on your instincts.
Yes.
And that's true coaching. Because some of this stuff, you don't have to overcoach some of these guys. Some of these guys, they have an innate ability to do what they do. And you have to sometimes you got to let these guys go and do what they do. Now, I will tell you this. You have guys like Bobby Knight, and you have guys like John Calipari.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, I feel like, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Bobby Knight want to touch, see, and feel everything. He wants to control the game.
Yes.
Calipari, roll the ball out there. Got a system in place.
Right.
But let's see what these dudes can do.
Yes.
Two different styles of coaching.
Correct.
Both can win. One coach is probably greater than the other, don't get me wrong. But there's different ways of doing it with players. And you got to figure out, not to put your guy in a box, how to give your guys some freedom to be the best that they can be. I'm more of the guy that give kids freedom to express themselves. I feel like sometimes if you are a coach for me, the way I would coach,
you have coached.
I know, and then it's what I do. It's like a painting. Go be free. There's no lines. Go paint. And then we'll figure it out from there.
But you have assessed a player's ability to believe they can do that.
But some of those guys who can do that, right, you can put them in a box and they'll never be great. Their greatness is their innate ability to be who they are. Sometimes it's not even coachable. Like, they just can do it. But you got to be able to have the wherewithal as a coach to let that guy do. It's almost like give a perfect example. I think you asked me about this last week. It's the Walter Stanley punt return against the Detroit Lions. Forrest Gregg says, fair catch it. We got a punt block going on here, buddy. Fair catch it. And dude caught it, ran it back for a touchdown. We won the game. It was a no, yes.
So why did he return it?
Because he felt like he can get home, and he did.
How the heck can you, as a punt returner, you did returning, how do you have any idea what's going to happen as you're watching the ball come down that you're going to grab?
In that case, you have a right and left return, right set. In this case, we had neither. It was a punt block. So he's got like 11 dudes coming at him, basically.
He's looking up.
You're right. Oh, it's a field. Oh, that if you just what's a punt return? It's a field. That's all.
What do you feel?
You feel
the timing of
and the pressure of the guys that are on top of you.
Can you hear them or feel them?
No, you just feel it. It's a feel. It's an innate ability that's not coachable.
Right. So when the ball's at a certain point, you've got to decide to fair catch or not.
Yes.
I don't know what that level is.
Right.
So when it's coming, he's thinking, nah, I'm not fair catching this.
Right. You just feel
Does he know that a block is on?
Yes. Yeah, because we call it in the huddle. Punt block.
So did you ask Walter? Dude, you know it's a punt block. You know that if it's not blocked, you're going to be going 1-on-9. So I don't know. So his feel had to be whatever he had felt in other punt block situations. I don't know.
I felt like I could return it.
I mean, if I'm a punt returner, the height of the punt is going to determine that. If it's not as high, I'm returning everything.
Right, and you have a clock, an innate
right, because I think I got a little time before they're going to get to me, and if you give me a little time, I can. I mean, I know this, not me personally, but you know how many people you can make miss.
Right.
I can make anybody miss. Right, with certain distance at certain speed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't remember that about you. You return kickoffs.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but my rookie year, I led the Green Bay Packers in kickoff returns. My rookie year. In Madison, I led the Big Ten in kickoff returns. My sophomore year.
So, what was the key?
What do you mean? What was the key?
I mean, why were you good at it? What?
I was good at it in high school.
Well, were you not? What makes you better than others? You were fast, but not that fast. You were big.
Yeah,
I mean, most people don't know. And I just
had a thing.
So, did you like to go a certain direction? Did you like to fake one way?
No, I just had a thing.
Well, but your thing had to be something.
And that's why they say a lot of great players can't be coaches. Because they can't explain what they do that is great. They just do it.
No, but it had to be the punts, the kickoffs a certain way, or I'd like to go right, I'd like to go left.
No, it didn't matter. It was all different.
Well, you have to decide. Something has to make you decide to go left or right.
No, because they kind of guide you where you want to go. We have a right return, we have a left return.
So you know the return.
We have a middle return.
Right.
I know where we're supposed to go.
You know what the return is going to be.
Right.
All right. If you have a right return,
right.
When you catch the kickoff, are you going to go right or not?
Let me give you an example. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. I was a great toss sweep player. Like I had this ability where I could read the toss sweep. And Dave McClain loved it when I ran a toss sweep. And so he designed this special play for me, which he thought was great. It was a toss sweep, but it almost kind of guided me in a particular hole. It didn't let me pick a hole.
Right.
But he thought I'm going to develop another play for you, Gary. And then it was a toss sweep, but it put me like in the 8 hole or the 9 hole. And it was blocked up that way. I never got comfortable. One day, we did that play. I think we were playing against somebody, and I fumbled the ball. And after the game, he came. He goes, "What?" He goes, "You're great on toss sweeps. We put this new play in there for you. It's another design of the toss sweep." And he goes, "You just don't look good." I said, "Coach, it's restricting me too much." He goes, "We'll take it out." That's the sign of a good coach.
Especially when he added the play.
Yeah.
Because he could also find somebody else to run that.
Right.
Run that
play. Because I take it out.
All right. Higher Love Cannabis Company. Yep. You know I'm going to tell you. How far away? Less than an hour from Green Bay. 2 hours and 15 minutes from Milwaukee. Higher Love Cannabis Company. 7 stores located across the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, especially just over the border in Menominee. Like 8 seconds over the border in Menominee. Higher Love is the only UP cultivator offering organic, clean green certified products, which means you can count on them to provide only the good stuff and none of the bad stuff. 7 locations. I mentioned Menominee. They have the brick and mortar store. All of it's just nice, but you need to know. Higher Love Cannabis Company. I know, Homer. Less than an hour from Green Bay and about 2 hours and 15 minutes from Milwaukee. Other stuff is important, but not as important. Higher Love, less than an hour from Green Bay. 2 hours and 15 minutes from Milwaukee. On to the fourth quarter. Coming up next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Alex Strofe is Mr. Irrelevant.
And they got a title, but I worry about what the future of this team is.
Tune into ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 for Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
I do not touch TikTok at work.
I don't believe you at all.
Look at my screen time if you want to. You can look at my screen time if you want to. I'd happily send it to you.
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 on ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and there is one thing I think everyone can agree on. Potholes stink. And this year's weather will make it one of the worst years yet. Well, Johnson & Sons Paving is ready to take on the challenge with a team that has over 2 decades of experience. When the potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole area. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. Get that appointment booked before May 31st, and you might even see Old T on the job site for a visit. Find full contest details at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Eagle Sports Range has an unbeatable offer on concealed carry license classes. For just $49, enroll in their 3-hour class led by expert instructors prioritizing safety. Learn laws, techniques, and mindset for responsible carrying. Stick around for an optional hour of range time with instructors included in the package. Practice under professional guidance and gain confidence. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day at 2525 East Layton Avenue in Cudahy. Secure your spot at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where safety meets skill.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman getting you ready for summer with Carbless, ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktails that are handcrafted right here in Wisconsin. Carbless is my go-to refreshing drink, whether it's hanging out inside watching TV or spending time on the patio grilling. Plus, it's perfect to take to the lake or to a brewer's tailgate. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. Try flavors like pineapple, cranberry, and black cherry, or classic cocktail flavors like Paloma or my favorite, margarita. Find Carbless online or in your local retailer. This is more this summer with Carbless.
Summer with Saz's. Wonton wrapped mozzarella sticks, refreshing craft cocktails, crispy sour cream and chive fries, barbecue pulled pork sandwiches, you name it, they've got it. Saz's Steakhouse has been a Milwaukee staple for almost 50 years. So grab your friends and come experience the finest for yourself. Join them on their outdoor patio or pull up a seat at Saz's famous Round Bar. Complimentary shuttles are ready to take you to games and concerts at AmFam Field. Located at 55th and State. Learn more at saz's.com.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Even when you get a great price, diamonds cost a lot of money.
But we want you to be able to buy the engagement ring you really want.
You won't have to settle for anything less than fantastic when you come to Kessler's.
We do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
Friendly financing makes it possible.
We can give you 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit.
And with approved credit, we can give you 36 months to pay with just 9.99%.
And if getting your credit approved is a problem, we've even got second chance financing for people who deserve a second chance.
Don't settle for second best. Come to Kessler's.
Seriously, we do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
That's the sort of thing you can expect from us when you hear us say, "Welcome to Kessler's."
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com. And one more thing. Welcome to Kessler's.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
It is now the final quarter with the Packers, I believe, at 97 days till the start of the regular season. The Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. We've discussed coaches, running, kickoff returns. We have not discussed Jordan Love contract extension. Again, every time it's mentioned, I require that you should be told that the Packers, if they wished, have him as their quarterback for the next 3 years. He could play nowhere else. 1 year left on his contract. They could franchise him the next 2 years. Right. Not suggesting that they do it, and I don't think they will do it.
They won't do that.
I think they're going to want to get everything done.
Yes.
Everybody's happy, and
correct.
As you said, I think you had a phrase for it. You don't want to mess the current or something, and things are. Yeah. But everybody needs to know that's part of the equation. If the Packers chose to, they could say, Jordan, it's great, but you're going to be here 3 more years, and you'll get $12 million the first year. The next year, the franchise is $40 million. The next year, $50 million. Well, they're not doing that, but They could do that.
Yeah.
And if there is a discussion between the two sides, people have to know that the Packers have that in their bag of tricks.
Right.
And how they use it will determine how this works out. I'm like you. I don't think they want to play that.
They won't play that game. They got too much good
But
stuff going.
if Jordan Love's group asks for too much,
they'll work it out.
I think they will. I expect it before.
I mean, it's somewhere, right? It's got to be somewhere between 45 and
a little over 50. Yeah. But that's also how many years. It used to be that the NFL numbers, we would always say you can't count them because so little of it is guaranteed.
Correct.
Now, more and more, and with quarterbacks,
right,
it might be close to all guaranteed.
Yes.
And if it's all guaranteed, then a player is willing to change what they want.
Right.
I mean, if you give him, if you add, because he's got this year, if you add 3 years onto that to this year at $50 million, all guaranteed.
Right.
I think he'd have to consider it.
Yeah.
All guaranteed. But I don't know. Maybe he wants to be done in 3 years so that he can then cash in.
Well, you want to always be able to hit him again.
And
that's the going rate.
Right.
Dude.
So at 4, then you get again at 29.
The Packers want to make it a longer contract.
Yeah, then you're gambling big time.
Yeah, but you're paying less.
Right.
But if you go 3 years, you're letting this guy come in and double up maybe. In 3 years.
And my answer to that is, if he's that good,
well, you're gonna pay him.
Then fine.
Right.
I mean, I'd like a little more information.
Right.
So
I can't wait to see this team this year.
Yeah.
Just can't wait. I don't know, and it's an unknown still. You don't know.
Well, you know some things aren't going to work. You know they're not going to be as good as they were that 8-game stretch last year.
You got a whole year now in the offseason of defensive coordinators figuring out Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. What's your counter, Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur? And they don't know yet.
Correct.
They don't know what the counter is because it hadn't happened.
But I anticipate they're going to be able to. One, I think Matt LaFleur's pretty good at what he does. So I think he can figure it out, and you can easily figure it out when you appear to have as much talent at various positions as he does.
Well, they'll be challenged.
I mean, I think the
but
challenge.
Players got to get better too.
Right.
So
I think the challenge.
Musgrave's got to get better. Kraft's got to get better. Wick's got to get better.
Right.
All these guys got to take it to another level.
I can tell you what I'm going to do if I play against Jordan Love.
What?
I'm going to blitz like crazy and put a lot of pressure, make him make quick decisions.
I don't think you do that. I think that's where he was most successful last year.
I'm going to do it more often.
I think what you do is you'll see more zone against him this year because that slowed him down to make reads. Jordan.
I mean, the best question to ask that no one's an answer to.
The biggest question.
What's going to be the biggest problem? What's going to happen that's not going to go well?
The biggest problem that they have.
The
biggest problem that they have right now is Zach Tom. He's your starter when the season starts
because of the pectoral.
Correct.
And that's
the biggest problem right now. Kicking, yes, okay. But right now, it's about Zach Tom. Will he be ready?
We have run out of time. Always a treat. The Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. Done. Next.
We do have some delays 94 eastbound from about the Zoo interchange all the way through to about 35th Street. So give yourself a little bit of extra time there. Southbound 43 slowing down from before Hampton Avenue down past Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette, actually. Northbound's going to be a bit backed up on 4394 right around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. We've also got some delays on southbound on the bypass from Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange towards Forest Home. Traffic is brought to you by Saz's, baseball, grilling, festivals, and Saz's. Summer in Wisconsin is the finest, and Saz's State House is the place to be. Located at 55th and State, Saz's.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 57. Then tomorrow, rain likely around a half an inch. It will be heavier to the south, a high of 65. Weather's brought to you by the Golden Mast Inn Business Showcase. Check out their event space during a complimentary open house on Monday, June 3rd from 4 until 7. Register at goldenmastin.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.